Hello everyone, welcome to Sweet Tree of Life Tarot. This is the August 2022 reading for Leo. Happy birthday, Leo. I'm wishing you a great time, a great birthday month for you. And let's go ahead and start the reading. Right here in the first issue card that we have here, what we have is the Ace of Wands. But because it is the issue, it's actually like it's turned around. So the Ace of Wands here, being that it's turned around in the reverse, it tells me that there's a delay for some of you, a delay in opportunity, maybe because you haven't been able to plan to continue forward. So it's like a lack of basically delays coming in for those opportunities that you've been looking forward to. What does give us, like, with this card being in the reversal, it does also give us like a warning. It's basically saying, you have an idea, creative spark. If you don't take any action to it, you're just going to let it die out. So you have to basically take action because you don't want the flames to kind of die out. You want to keep that process going. So if some of you are in relationships, it's probably a relationship that you're having. It could be because of this card and this card that you need to dissolve. It could be either dealing with a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or it could be dealing with a water sign, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. So let's go ahead and see the reading a little further. It looks like maybe you with your partner maybe didn't have enough things where you're having planned out in your relationship. So if you don't take any action, it just kind of might fizzle out because you're not taking the opportunity to develop your relationship. So it looks like there's a delay in it. Right here we have the King of Wands in the number 2 position. So right here is, even though the King of Wands is highly creative, inspiring, charismatic, full of passion, very, very much, interest and loving, he does rule, because it is Wands, King of Wands, he is actually being ruled a lot by his heart and his emotions too, a little bit. As far as his interest and love interest, he tends to be a little fickle with it. So basically, if there is no direction, he might get a little bit bored and kind of go to the next thing. So this is kind of an indicator of maybe what your relationship has gone through or is going through for some of you. Right here, in the number 3 position, we have the Queen of Swords. This is kind of like what's being created around you. Now, we do have that there has been conflict here, but as you can see, she is parting the clouds of conflict with her sword, with hope, and of course, transformation and renewal. So there's a lot of showing me here. There's a lot of light, a lot of hope coming through, a lot of healing. However, it does show me that there's a lot of transformation, and because there is transformation, it is very indicative of changes coming through. So we'll go ahead and see more in the reading as we go ahead and see that, even though she's a wise and fair and honest and forthright kind of queen, she's also rules with her head and not her heart, but yet she still has a lot of compassion. So even though she's ready for battle here, you can see she's still able to, or prefers to keep it civilized and deal things with it more civilly. And that's kind of the indication of how you should react to things a little more civilly, not too emotional, and maybe have a little bit less procrastination and figure out what you're doing, because otherwise all those thoughts, all those ideas might kind of go away. But for some of you that are in a relationship, you kind of need a more direct path to see where your next steps are going within your relationship. Right here we have the Ace of Cups. This is basically in the number 4 position here. Lets me know what's the energy that giving you to kind of continue and keep building. You're kind of continuing because you have that. This card is usually one of new love, reflection, outpouring of emotions and renewal. Definitely one of expressing your feelings. And also for some of you, fine-tuning that intuition with all the phases of the moon here, kind of showing all the different emotions, expressing of one's feelings and so forth. It does, though, tell you that it's time for a new spiritual and emotional growth. For some of you, it could also mean a new partnership. Maybe this one kind of fizzled out from what I can see here is kind of ending. However, for other of you, that this is a time that you're going to take to actually grow spiritually and emotionally, but also maybe to even mend a relationship with others, that not necessarily your partner, but with others as well, where you're taking that opportunity to create more partnerships if it's at work, or for some of you that are going to the next step, you're kind of really wanting to go to the next step with this person. It seems like, but it seems like it's starting to fall apart rather than going in the direction that you wanted to, which is like a marriage or a deeper connection with that person. What's showing me here, what you need to dissolve, is the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups here is usually not considered a bad card, but because it is considered in the reversal, it kind of gives you a different message. What you need to dissolve here is basically that desire to spend time alone. Right now, it seems like you're kind of withdrawing. It's almost like the Hermit card, where you're withdrawing and kind of taking yourself a step back, turning inward, and just kind of spending time within yourself and reflecting. But I guess what this is saying is you've done that enough, because it's to the point where you're declining communicating with friends, or social invitations are being delayed. So it's recommending that you do kind of take that moment. You've been reflecting a lot already. You kind of want to handle things on your own, but it's probably time to reach out and be with friends and have their support as well, because it seems like you're going through a lot here. This is the center card in the sixth position. Here is a major arcana card. It is a Tower card. With this Tower card, it does represent a reversal in fortune, some kind of monumental change that you've been going through, which, huge change in your life, which seems to be with this person here, that you're dealing with your partner. It represents also just basically not just a change, but also a kind of like a shaky foundation. So because there is that shaky situation that you're in, it's kind of like falling down in its foundation. So because it is falling apart in its own foundation, it is actually paving a new way for new opportunities. So it's not really as much as you would think of as falling apart, but more like it's falling into place. And things have to kind of be shaken up sometimes and fall into place in order for it to pave that new path that you're going through. But it is obviously a painful situation to go through, very emotional. But you do need friends. You need to dissolve this kind of isolation and do reach out to your friends and family, your faith, and keep that positive spirit going. Knight of Cups is what you're in the victory position here. The Knight of Cups is obviously very water oriented, so very emotional. You have the moon here kind of peeking out now. Because the moon is kind of peeking out, it's obviously not going to light his whole path, so it's telling you have to follow your intuition as well. So this knight here, yeah, he's very chivalrous, sensitive and strong, passionate, of course, passionate dreamer. But because he is kind of a dreamer, he tends not to keep his feet on the ground very much. So it's kind of telling you that in order to get that victory, that you're kind of trying to get over the situation here, you have to kind of not be overly sensitive, and also to keep your feet on the ground. Don't be like this Knight of Cups here, where he is not grounded, because his emotions are kind of all over the place a little bit. So you want to make sure you kind of keep that strong foundation and be more sure-footed in what you're doing. Now, what is it that you want? You want the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Why? Because this Five of Pentacles is usually one of having lost financially, emotionally, and that sort of thing. But because it is in the reverse, that's what you want. You want to return to that employment if you don't have your employment, because it does deal with Pentacles. It deals with the financial aspects, but it also can deal with the emotional security, your companionship. So obviously the emotional security here, you feel like you've lost it because you've lost that relationship, or the way, the path that it was heading to. So for some of you, could also be improvement in your health. Maybe some of you were ill. I wish you much health if you have been going through that. But just remember, even though with the Five of Pentacles, even though you might feel financially, you've been struggling with this financial situation here, and financially you've just been feeling a little bit insecure, or a lot insecure, you're still rich in spirituality and family and friends. So they're still around, and you have your faith. So make sure, because you do have the light of hope here already coming through. So stay positive. Reach out to the family. Stop being isolated. Reach out to your friends, family, your faith, because this is what you've been going through here. Has to keep you isolated. You got to kind of break that isolation and have their support here. And it's time to make that decision, because you don't want to be fickle Do I, don't I? Because this is what it seems to have, being caused by the situation up here where you're kind of procrastinated or being indecisive about something. Right here in the number 9 position, which is kind of like the trunk of the tree, it kind of shows you how you see yourself or others see you. Well, this card it's a kind of like a major arcana card. It's an unknown card. It actually tells you that the answer is not meant to be known yet. What that means is something from the past is not being understood, or something that will happen soon is not being understood. So for one or the other, for many of you. So what this is recommending, because this card has come out, it says further steps need to be taken to clarify the bigger picture, right? So how do you clarify the bigger picture? By looking deeper into your situation right here to find your answer. So you have to look deeper into your situation. For some of you, just, have to look not only deeper, but also maybe even have those friends and family supporting you emotionally to get that stability, that emotional stability that you need right now. But it is important to move forward with an open mind and without bias. So you have to go through that healing that you've been going through and just keep moving forward, and without kind of having that bias and those mental blocks that you do have with you right now for some of you. So this is telling you also, is reminding you that with patience, with time, and that introspection and that reflection, which is showing here with the Ace of Cups, that self-reflection could also be a new love, meaning your self-love as well, because sometimes we forget to do that. That introspection is, it'll help you reveal what the picture will be, and pretty soon. So that patience, time, and introspection is the picture that will soon be revealed. That's what it says. So just take that time to look within, look into the deeper of the situation. And of course, right here, I'm showing that you do need to reach out to that family and friends and have that new love, that new spiritual growth, those lessons, life lessons that you are learning. And now for the outcome card, I have Major Arcana card, the Emperor. Now the Emperor, obviously, fire sign like yourself, very much sure-footed. He knows where he stands, just like the Leos tend to be very sure-footed. So he's definitely a protector, very structured, the guardian, kind of like the patriarch of it all. He has the crown right here that symbolizes the ram's head, which is a symbol of assuredness and intelligence, and being sure where you're stepping in. So this is kind of like the outcome, kind of showing you can get through this to get more sure footing, but you do have to kind of look to see what the situation is, to find in deeper meaning in order to keep that spiritual growth going and keep moving forward. So right here on the left side, we have the column of severity or discipline as well. In this one, we have the column of mercy. In the middle, we have the column of harmony. And as we go in the reverse in the column of harmony, as it is above, it is below, and it kind of corresponds to one another with the heavens and the earth. So right here, as you go, the Emperor, you're going to get more sure-footedness. You are the fire sign. You are that Emperor, the Emperor energy. Yes, things are not quite known yet, but the way to get to know a little bit more about it is to look deeper into your situation to find your answers. And as we keep going in the reversal for this, the pillar of harmony, you see that you have to be more sure-footed, like it says here with the Emperor. You have to kind of open up and reach out to friends. You have to kind of break that emotional barriers that you might be having, how to have that emotional security again, and financial stability, and gain, hopefully have that new employment that you're reaching for. And right here, just remember that things are not, this whole energy feels like it's like falling apart, but things are usually not falling apart. What they really are, like I said, is falling into place, kind of like a puzzle, as painful as it can be with its life lessons as well. Right here, of course, we have the King of Wands, also very strong, wand energy, and then you have here the very powerful Queen, thinking over the head and not emotionally. And of course, going through all these transformations that you're going through here is very connected with that. And of course, you have those kind of conflicts that you've already kind of separated with hope, to keep that hope alive. Then hopefully that way this can be reversed, and those delay and opportunities that you've been seeking can be reversed, because you have, gone into a position of gratitude and learning and rising to that new emotional and spiritual levels, and growth that you're going through right now, and mending any relationships that you might have here with your friends or family that you might have put aside because of the relationship that you were in with this person, which seems to be either a fire sign or a water sign. So I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for joining me here today. I wish you lots of peace, and I hope everything is resolved for you soon in a very positive manner, and I hope it's giving you a different perspective. I hope that you subscribe to my channel so that I know that you want me to keep making these videos. Please share, like, and subscribe. That way we can, if you have friends that might benefit from a message like this, think of them too and kind of send them a message and have them look at things from a different perspective and hopefully a more positive perspective as well. Thank you for joining me today. Wishing you much light, love, and peace. See you soon.